See, it's so hard whenever you're not just reminded of it organically. You know, it's real easy to come up with a story just because something reminds you of it. All right, here's one. Here's one. This goes to my other career. I've had a number of careers so far. I worked in broadcasting and radio for 4 or 5 years. Then I worked as a bartender for a while. That was an interesting time in my life. That was also during the and I've joked about this before, is, you know, I get asked, Ayesee, are you married? It's like, well, I was engaged once. There is absolutely no good story that follows those words. If someone says, if you ask them if they're married, the answer is either yes or no. If there's a middle ground answer like I was engaged once or I came close, then you can bet it's not a pleasant story. But anyway, it was during that time of my life I worked as a bartender. But this focuses on my time in print publication. Okay, so what I did, and I'm not going to run through my whole life story. Let's just skip to me deciding to open a business, me and a colleague, 2 colleagues actually, deciding to open a business that serviced the campus of West Virginia University. It was a print publication, a news, economic, and political journal, and I was very politically active at that time. I have gotten completely away from it now and very happy to do so. Politics is a dirty, dirty business. I actually worked on a congressional campaign. As I wasn't a campaign manager, I was an advisor, a media advisor, and a public relations advisor. It was awful. I will never, ever work in politics again. But at that time, I was very active. So, me and my colleague are offered an opportunity to go to a conference that is held in Washington, D.C. And I'm not going to name drop it. It's a fairly well known, but I don't want to get into that. But anyway, we're invited to go, and this is when, you know, this is more than a few years ago. This is like 2008, 2009, I want to say. I want to say it was 2008, actually. So this is in 2008. I'm like 23 years old, so I was still pretty young. And I am 28 for those who are wondering, but I'm 28 now. So anyway, we go to this conference, and it's, you know, it's billed as an educational / networking conference, right? So we go there, and they actually, they put us up in our own rooms, and we're all there, and, you know, everybody's all highfalutin, you know, we're a bunch of relatively young guys and gals, I should say. But that was during when I was a little bit more wild in my life. So we go, and like during the day, we're in conferences and meetings for six to 8 hours a day, and it's really good networking and all this great stuff. Then at night, because we're there for 3 days, I think, 3 or 4 days on the dime of the conference itself. Like they had paid us to come because they viewed us because we were opening a new publication that had a political element to it. They viewed us as 2 people who they wanted to get their mitts on, basically. They wanted to try and use their influence to use us as an extension of them. So they pay for us to be there. We have, I mean, the travel's all paid. You know, again, we're given our own rooms. We were staying for free at the Hilton, and that was awesome. And we were even given a daily spending money stipend. So, I mean, we just ate cheap and then went out drinking. Like, that's just what we did. You know, we'd spend like, we got $100 a day or something like that. And we'd eat like 1 meal a day for like $6 from McDonald's and then spend the rest on booze the rest of the day. So we get out, and right across the street from where the conference is being held is a little bar called O'Sullivan's. And this is in a beautiful part of D.C., by the way. It's in an area called Clarendon, which I absolutely loved, like absolutely adored. And actually, we went to a place called the Ballroom first. Then we went to O'Sullivan's afterwards. So we're there, and it was just one of those nights that is always going to live in legend. And I guess I got to think of the tale of this. We'll call this the tale, the tale of the pool table, and I'll think of a full title for it. But so anyway, we go to the ballroom. It's a dance club. We meet some chicks. And we take the girls over to O'Sullivan's for a nightcap. It's like, you know, 1:30 in the morning by the time we leave the ballroom. And we're just looking to have some shots and, you know, look to either close the deal or go back and sleep. And, you know, those conference days were long as it was because we were hungover every freaking day. We basically were sitting in the back looking important and looking as if we were hyper-focused on the materials in front of us, and we tended to be halfway passed out, dehydrated as hell. But, so we're there. And, you know, we had brought, there were like 3 girls that were in a group. They hooked up with us, so we brought them over to O'Sullivan's, but they just disappeared. I mean, every guy's had that experience where everything seems to be going good. Then you turn your back, you're doing shots, and all of a sudden, one person goes, we got to go, and just they vanish like a fart in the wind. You know, they're just gone. So everything's winding down, and we're kind of having a good time. And there's actually another story I could tell about O'Sullivan's, but this is the shorter one. So, or I should say the more easily accessible one. So anyway, they call last call. And as I said, I like to drink a lot. At that time in my life, I ran up to the bar and said 4 shots of Jameson. And my plan was 2 for me, 2 for my bro. But immediately, a girl comes up and says, I want a shot of Jameson. And she wasn't like asking me to order. Like, she was talking to the bartender. She was like 3 feet down the bar from me. I just happened to overhear it. So trying to be super slick dude that I am, I slide her a shot. It hits her hand. It spills on her hand. And, you know, I have to do, oh, my God, I'm so sorry. I was trying to be, you know, I was trying to be a clever guy. She laughs it off. And so we end up, we end up buying more shots. And it ended up with me, her, and my buddy doing 3 shots of Jamie for the last call. And just as where they, you know, they turn the lights on, they're kicking all the boozers out. That chick who went out ahead of us all of a sudden hollers from inside of a cab. She goes, hey, you guys want to keep the party going? And we're tuned up as hell by then. So we're like, yeah, let's go. We jump in the cab with this chick that I never knew her name. I never will know her name. So we jump in this cab. And we're in D.C. I mean, I've been to D.C. a lot, but it's not like I know the area. I mean, I know parts of it, but it's not like I know where my way around at all. So it looks like we're going to have to continue soon. So anyway, we get to this chick's house, right? I don't know the situation, but I'm going to guess, because she was pretty young. Like, she was probably 21. And I'm going to guess it was her parents' house, because it's like this beautiful, unbelievably stereotypical 1%er kind of a house. I mean, it had like, it was like this beautiful estate almost. And it had like, you know, a lawn. It's down in Arlington. Probably a $500,000, I won't say $1 million house. Wasn't quite on that. It was probably $700,000 in value. I mean, it was just gorgeous. Had the kind of place where you expect to see 3 staff members, all of varying ethnicities on any given morning. You know what I mean? That kind of place. Little snooty, little highfalutin. And it's packed out. There's like a dozen people there. And I'm going to guess it was this chick's house or like her sister's house or something. So we get there, and there's just this party that's raging. But it's a very, again, kind of highfalutin party. People are, you know, they're playing like Sublime and drinking champagne from champagne glasses. Like, come on, man. You know, get it together. If you're going to have a party and you're in your mid-20s, you know, if you want to drink champagne, then put on some nice clothes, go drink some champagne. You know, do your thing. It just makes no sense to me to be all like, oh, you know, welcome to the party. Let's turn on our what I got while I drink my parents' champagne. But anyway, little highfalutin for my taste, but what the hell? It was free booze, right? So we're there, and my buddy's like getting in real good with this chick, and I'm thinking he's going to close the deal. And by then, I'm real ripped. Looks like I might have to finish this story afterwards. Looks like they're going to have to finish 4 versus 5. And all right. Here we go. Back into the game. And they're going to have to try to finish this out 4 versus 5. This is the second time in my career I've actually seen this attempted. And it's really unpleasant, just to be blunt. I actually don't think this should be permitted. Because what ends up happening is you wind up in this situation where now Kaipi can just try to turtle this out and buy time for their teammate to come back. It's going to probably make for a not-so-good show. But anyway, maybe they're ahead enough. Maybe Ursa's big enough that he doesn't need a Venomancer to let him make more bear hats. But, I got to get out of storytelling mode. I got to get back to Dota mode. Okay, here we go. So, 9-5, we got 14 kills on the board. We're 16 minutes into this game. We take a look at our gold graph. We can see it's been level for a while during the duration of the pause. That was actually a really long pause. But as it stands right now, 5,000, the advantage of Kaipi in both. I'm going to guess that's accurate. And I like what they're doing with the Venomancer. Just sit him in the woods. It's fine. Because, I mean, what's a Veno gonna do? He's gonna hang back, he's gonna shoot a Gale, then he's gonna waddle, slither his way up, get off an ulti, and die. It's just what a Venomancer does. As it stands, Ursa Hitting very hard already. Has the Aegis up as well. We're going to see a TP down the bottom. They've managed to clear out their first of the tier 2s remaining for Empire. And right now, it's Empire just has to try to turtle, but I mean, obviously, playing 4 versus 5 makes it a little bit easier. Scandal just has so much distance to go, and he is going to be going with the prototypical Armlet Maelstrom build. He's already got the Blades of Attack up on his way to the Armlet. He'll get that up, then probably a Maelstrom. Though more and more, I'm seeing players opt to skip to go one or the other, and then get something like a Basher or an Abyssal. It's really just all down to preference. But KP, despite missing a player right now, I feel like would be very ill-served to play passive. It looks like they're on the same page. BKB's now done on... this is such a fat Ursa, my god. BKB, Vlad's, Blink Dagger, Aegis, Phase Boots. Already, it's at 18 minutes into this game. And what's going to happen here is Empire is going to run out of real estate. We can already see the TP reaction back to mid. And Zissou up there with the Ursa, and they're going to be able to catch Windrunner. And it looks like Ursa's going to go ahead and go north. They feel confident being able to clean him up. I just heard an RP go off, and there you go. He caught everyone. And now Arai is going to make a run away from it. And Envy, being a little too YOLO for his own good, going to lose his Aegis for free. They did get the Windrunner in the process. Don't know why he felt the need to engage by himself. Arise really getting a little bit too chest out with his own RP, but does manage to follow it up with a kill on the Lesh track with Lesh and Windrunner both down. I don't know that Kaipi has the ability to really stop this. Or excuse me, I don't know that Empire would have the ability to stop this, but it doesn't look like Kaipi's going to force the issue one way or the other. Magnus, another pause. No idea what's going on. But anyway, I guess I'll take this opportunity to try and finish the game. Looks like we may have some more problems arising. But as it is... Okay, let me finish my story as quickly as I can while we wait on this situation to revise itself. So I'm at this party, right? And... You know, my bro's closing the deal. At that point, I'm so tuned up, I'm not even looking to do anything, but, like, I'm already dreading the next morning. It's like 3 in the morning. We have to be back at this conference. We have to be up and out the door at 7, so chances are we're not going to sleep to begin with, or if we do, it's like an hour. So, I start shooting pool with some of the folks there, just counting on Buddy to do his thing, and, you know, not really generally thinking all that clear-headed, but still having a good time. And... bit by bit, people start dropping out of the pool game because we're playing like cutthroat. You know, it's not like teams or anything. So people just end up dropping out of the game. And before I know it, I find myself sitting in a room by myself with broken champagne bottles on the floor and all kinds of, you know, well, I actually spilled champagne on this really nice red velvet pool table too, which I still feel bad about. It was just gorgeous pool table. I'm stagger drunk. I mean, I'm just so blasted. And... I just wake up in the moment and realize I'm the only one shooting pool. You know, it's like anyone who's had that kind of a night where you drink for like 8 straight hours. You realize, you know, sometimes it just happens. Like you don't ever black out, but after a while, you just have a moment of clarity that I've been at this party and I'm still the only one up drinking and partying. So I look at the time and it's like 5:30 in the freaking morning, man. The sun's getting ready to come up and all this. So I go to find my buddy. And that's when it was me. That's when I knocked over the champagne glass on the pool table too, which, again, really feel bad about that. So I'm wandering through this gigantic house that has like 85 bedrooms or some nonsense, and all I can do, like, I don't want to yell and wake people up, but I gotta find my buddy. I mean, because we don't know where we are. Like, we just hopped in a cab, rode for like 15 minutes to some part of Alexandria, and we have no idea where the hell we are. Yep, looks like we're back underway. But anyway, hopefully that'll be our last issues. And I hate them. See, this is why I didn't want to tell that story. Because there's not a whole lot left to it, but it's all going to be broken up now. But anyway, we're 20 minutes in. We're already missing one, our Venomancer. And you can see he is apparently being controlled by Zisu. If I had to guess, that's what's happening. Empire now looking to find a way back into this game. The armlet going to be done on the bear soon, so Scandal finally making a little bit of progress. At this point, I maintain that Kaipi's best option is going to be to play aggressive. Playing back, not going to do them any favors. They had the Aegis popped. Roche is going to be back up in a few minutes. But I feel like they need to go ahead and take something else very soon. And it looks like players are saying they think they're being DDoS'd again. All right, so back to my story again. Okay, sorry, I had to take a drink. So anyway, finish my story. So I'm in this gigantic, unbelievably stereotypical WASP mansion, you know, in Alexandria, Virginia. And I got to find a way back to the Clarendon area of D.C. And the only way I know to find my buddy, like I'm calling his phone, texting him, I'm not hearing it, anything like that. So I have to go through bedroom by bedroom and try to find him. Just, you know, I'm creeping around a stranger's house. I'm like I didn't get shot. Just peeking in bedrooms, trying to see if maybe he sealed the deal with that girl and I got to wake him up. Maybe he's passed out in bed, whatever. So I'm literally cracking the door, seeing people having sex, cracking the door, seeing people lying in their own puke. I mean, and I did this for like 15 minutes, right? Checked like 6 rooms, at least 6 bedrooms. And I'm about ready to give up. Just like, man, he's a big boy. He'll wake up here and he'll know to call a cab or something like that. So I finally just had it. I say, I'm gonna go pee real quick and get out of here, and he'll figure it out. So I go to pee, open the bathroom door, and there's my buddy laying on the floor of the bathroom with his shirt half unbuttoned and with a little bit of upchuck on his sleeve. Other than that, he was in a Brooks Brothers suit, so that's always fun. But he's there, and, you know, I have to do the, hey, wake up. Hey, let's go. Come on, let's go. So we get him up. We walk out the door, and we're like in this big, beautiful housing neighborhood, right? You know, like a subdivision is probably the way to put it. And I, you know, call information number and get a cab service for the general area I think we're in. And I'm like, hey, we need a cab. We need to get to Clarendon, and we need and you know, whatever. I'm just like, hey, we need a cab. They're like, okay, from where to where? And that's when it hits me. One, I don't know where the hell we are. Like, I can look at signs, but it's not like I can coach the dude to get there. Like, like we're deep in this big ass subdivision. There's a number on the house, but other than that, there's no indication where we are. Then I don't know the address of where we're going. I know the name of the conference center. I know landmarks around it, but I have to like guess where we're going. Like, I can say that I tell him our hotel, but even then, you know, I don't know like the street numbers. So anyway, eventually I'm gonna rush it. Eventually the cab comes and gets us, and we end up tipping the dude $50 because he actually took us through McDonald's to get some breakfast because we were on our way to a real nasty hangover and we knew it. And yeah, oh, and in the end, my buddy left his phone at that chick's house. So, not the most climactic ending in the world, but at the same time, hopefully you enjoyed the story. We will call that the tale of the pool table, and it's got to be the tale of 2 things: the tale of the pool table, the tale of the champagne and the pool table. There we go. Story time here on G1 League. That's why you guys tune in to One More Game TV 2, right?